Well, good afternoon, Raider Nation. My name is Brent Johnson. I started to well, there he is.
Yep. This is Coach Sky Keck back at it again. First time since softball season.
Yeah, we're excited about the day. This game was supposed to have been played tomorrow. We were going to broadcast then, but due to some severe weather potential coming in, they decided to back it up a day. This is Bacon County versus Jeff Davis. Doesn't get any better than this as far as rivalry. When it comes, this is basically rivalry week for baseball because of the 3-game series that we're forced to play them. We did play them first of the week. We'll get to that in just a moment. But this is the first commentated broadcast. I've had some broadcasts online with the automated system, the AI system. Still trying to work some kinks out of it. They made some additional adjustments to the camera system this past week, and this will be the first broadcast since then. It's actually not broadcasting. It's just recording tonight as we're broadcasting from my camera right here in front of me. But we're going to go down the lineup with you real quick because this thing's about to get kicked off and get started here. Scott, could you want to go around the horn there for me for the Raiders?
All right, so on the mound tonight, we've got Jordan Martin. He's a junior, got some experience from last year. Going to try to get the job done tonight. Behind the plate, we've got Knox Ledbetter, freshman. First base is going to be Jared Arney, junior. Second base is going to be your senior Jackson Connor. Third's Aiden White, junior. At short is Garrett All, sophomore. Left is Cale Taylor, sophomore. Senior is senior Brady Cawthorn in center field, and sophomore Chance Ivy in right field.
Up to bat for the Jackets is Trenton Chance. It looks like we get the third copy of the lineup, and sometimes it's real dim in pencil. So I apologize if we have any JD folks listening in, and I don't get the names quite right.
It's going to be a little outside to start the ball game tonight.
Got a tough shadow right here in the front of the camera here. It's just going to be a little more difficult to kind of see the action between or at the plate, but bear with us till the sun goes on down.
A little high there on the second pitch.
The Raiders, if you hadn't been keeping up with baseball, or if you have they struggled the first 10 or so games of the season. Got a moderately young team, just a handful of seniors. Really only he mentioned Jordan here on the mound has got some experience. I hope he's not like Sampson and he cut his hair and he become weaker.
Lost all
but
his powers.
he had some locks last year down to his shoulders, but he decided to cut that off. But he did garner some experience last year. But one of the our best pitcher is maybe with the least amount of experience. He got a little bit last year. He's just a sophomore this year. Is that Chance Ivy?
Chance Ivy, yeah, and he was the game one starter last night, and I was not there, but I heard he actually had a pretty good performance against these guys.
He went 5 innings, started to struggle with that 5th inning. I think they pulled him out and brought in Arney to finish things up there. That was an 11-1 loss, but the Raiders played a solid 4 or 5 innings. This is a defending state champion baseball team, a team that's won it 2 out of the last 3 years.
Actually, 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 years. The COVID year, I've skipped. There's a lays down a bunt here to advance the runner over just a little. I can't think of the word.
A little 1-3 put out there.
No, I was trying to think small ball. That was the term. I got to get my lingo back because I haven't commentated since softball because we didn't commentate basketball. We had some of that, so I got to remind myself of some of the baseball lingo. But one out here for the Jackets, one with the runner at second. But again, just trying to get caught up here with where we're at. The Raiders, once they got into the region schedule last week versus East Lawrence. They were able to gain a little confidence there as they swept them. So we're 3-1 in region play, and there's going to be a can of corn for Cawthorn in center field. And there's going to be a tag. And that's just a no-brainer there as he tags and goes to third base with 2 outs now. And again, I'm going to be sluggish keeping up with the batting lineup. I'll deal with Jeff Davis. I'll give you the home team there. This is the 4th batter, Griffin. This is the first of 2. I'm assuming they're brothers. Are they twins by chance? This number 4. Anybody see his number? I want to make sure.
I think 8's in the box. Yeah.
Yep, Ethan Griffin. On deck is Josh Griffin. Jeff Davis didn't start off the season with a bang either. I think they had a losing record for first couple weeks of the season. Now they were playing some pretty good competition, but again, we're talking about they didn't lose too many folks from last year's state championship team. Was sort of a surprise how they finished the season.
They were actually a relatively young team last year, and they ended up going all the way and winning another title. But I did hear that one of their top 3 arms did actually transfer out during the offseason.
He go to Dodge or something? Did I hear that?
I was told he went to a private school.
Okay, maybe he did.
And then I'm not sure. I don't see his name in the lineup, but Jeff Davis's head coach, Coach Paul Glass, he has a son that is usually the starting catcher, but I believe that he broke his hand a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I heard about that. Maybe done for the season, actually, and I think he's a senior this year.
He is.
I hate to hear that for the young man. Good-looking athlete, good-looking kid. I was going to say a while ago, this Chance Ivy, who's just a sophomore, you talk about a good-looking kid. I mean, he's your prototypical pitcher. That the size, the height, he's every bit of 6'3", maybe 6'4", about 230 pounds.
Yeah, he's actually 6'4". I'm not sure what his weight is.
He's got to be about 225 to 230. He's just thick and heavy through the hips, and just he's a good looking pitcher.
Yeah.
Just prototypical.
And he had a little tendonitis in his elbow there at the start of the season. I think he's starting to shake that rust off and really get back and taking that, not a sophomore slump, but I think he's really breaking out.
Well, didn't you say all is on shortstop?
Yes.
He was out the first good six, including the preseason, as well as the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season because of an ankle injury. So he's just now kind of getting his feet good and wet.
I actually want to say I believe that Garrett told me he was supposed to be out for 8 weeks, and he pushed it, and I believe he got back in 5, I want to say.
Well, those ankle injuries they can be a struggle depending on where it's at and what type it is. Sometimes it's better to break the bone than it is to have like that severe high ankle sprain. It'll just nag you if you're not careful.
Especially playing a position like shortstop where you're going to be going side to side a lot and using your ankles, and you can definitely linger around for a while.
Top of the first. Got runners at the corner now after the walk. Jordan trying to get out of trouble here. And it's going to bring the other Griffin to the plate. This is in the 5 spot. Josh Griffin.
We really need a camera on Brent as he tries to read these names off. He looks like he's staring at Egyptian hieroglyphs or something.
It's hard to put my reading glasses on and with this headset. And where'd my pencil go? We're not going to keep up with and throw out a whole bunch of stats tonight. Just want to talk some baseball. And might talk a little Braves and talk a little. Can I get a Go Dogs?
Go Dogs. It has been a while since we were on here. A lot of interesting developments for Georgia sports.
Good pitch on that outside corner. And when I say outside, it was out off the plate.
I believe that was on the white line of the left-handed batter's box.
He's hugging the plate. Excuse me, this Griffin. Got a Griffin in the booth with us, too. I couldn't talk him into going on air with me. He's the silent, violent type. No, he's running the sound system up here for the baseball team. And I'm glad he is. I know Coach Coley was struggling earlier in the season. He lost his number 1 man, who was Coach Giddens last year up here and did announcing and just about everything. And Coach Giddens took the head varsity boys soccer job, so that eliminated him. So, anyway, they just got anybody they could and recruited a Griffin.
Just had a little miscommunication there on a throw down to second base. I don't believe they communicated as to who had the bag, and the ball was thrown in the middle of them and bounced off of somebody, and J.D. just got a run and went first to third on that situation. Well,
that's something, again, It's tough. This part of the season after preseason, those are types of mistakes that you can't afford to have, especially against a quality team, quality opponent like Jeff Davis. Just basically giving them a run. Runners at third now with still 2 outs. This ball is hammered in the left center. It's trouble. Brady's going to catch it on the first hop, get it in. It's going to be a play, and he couldn't get the – oh, he got it.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if he got the tag down in time. I knew the ball got there. Great play by Brady. Cawthorn in center field, the senior, ending the inning after the Jackets were able to plate one. So it's 1-0. We head to the bottom of the first. We're going to take a quick break. Honor our sponsors. We'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah. All right, so leading off here, the bottom of the first is going to be Jackson Connor.
Talk about a man. There's a bunt. He puts it up and down. Oh!
Oh, we've got a collision at first base. Jackson is going to be safe, I believe.
Yeah, that guy was in the wrong spot. We're fortunate that either one of them are not hurt. And he's probably hurting, but, he's going to walk it off. But that's almost I don't know what you call that. I know it was the first baseman is not supposed to be there. He's supposed to be on the inside or outside of the bag. But I think Connor took the brunt of that, unfortunately.
I think they might have went chest to chest right there.
They did. I just don't know if they smack faces. I mean, there's another tall young. I was about to say, Connor, he's a big boy too now.
Yeah, you got two pretty big guys just smacked each other. All right, so I think both guys are going to shake that off and get back to it out there. And now that's going to bring Garrett All up to the plate with Jackson Connor on first base.
Another bunt.
That one's going to roll foul. That stayed fair. That was in a really good spot.
I tell you what, when you're struggling to put the bat on the ball and play, swinging the bat. Nothing wrong with giving some of you athletic guys here an opportunity to play a little small ball. I've always liked small ball. I know we had a really good baseball team. Probably it's been about 6 or 7 years ago now, and we went up to it was the second or third, I think it was the second round of the playoffs. May have been the third. We went up and played Rabun County, way up in North Georgia, and they beat us to death with that small ball. So it can work in some situations. But, again, like I said, when you're kind of struggling, and that's what the Raiders we've struggled this season early on to score some runs. And we've had trouble, again, our pitching trying to have trouble holding the opposing team from scoring runs. Good pitch.
That's going to be strike 3 on Garrett All, and that's going to bring Brady Cothran to the plate.
Great. Brady's one of those, one or two guys out of a graduating class that just an unbelievable athlete. This kid is put together. He's not huge by no means, not near as big as his brother, but super fast.
He is actually Mr. BCHS this year in the senior class.
He played football his junior season and was all region defensive. Actually, I think they listed him as a linebacker, but he played some safety. He played some corner, made a ton of tackles, and he hadn't played football since middle school. And he just he didn't play this year. Some of his buddies graduated, I think, and he just tried to focus on baseball, hoping to play at the next level. Ball outside.
They're keeping an eye on Jackson over there at first base.
Got one out here in the bottom of the first. Oh, boy. Ball is high and way outside.
I believe this umpire is going to have a wide strike zone
horizontally. I tell you, it's he likes that outside corner.
His zone might go from chalk line to chalk line, it looks like.
I haven't seen the inside pitch, and that's what causes safe too. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe the Raiders can take advantage of a couple of errors here. Ultimately, an error by the first baseman that allowed he was just in the wrong spot catch that ball, and then now we have a throwing error here, which is again uncharacteristic by this Jeff Davis team. Anything can happen in a rivalry game. We're a little down this year overall, and that happens. Jeff Davis is obviously still steady Eddie, but you got to take advantage of these opportunities. Need a base hit here.
I think that's going to be a strike there on the outside corner of the plate, not the batter's box.
Right fielder's awful shallow.
He is. There's some good space in the right center gap also. And we've got Jackson Connor caught stealing at third base there.
Was that a missed call, you think? A missed sign? Or was it a hit and run? Or
I think he might have seen the ball in the dirt and took off.
Well, again, there's a mistake. We made a mistake on defense, and that's a mistake on offense, leaving a run out on the base path, potentially.
Got a foul ball there down the third base line.
I haven't mentioned Coach Coley. We hardly ever, talk about the coaches for good reasons. Head Noble Coley. He has done a pretty good job since he's been taken over after Coach James went to Toombs County, And he's had some. It's well known. I don't think he'd mind me asking or saying. He's got a little girl he's been trying to take care of these last year and a half or so, as she's been diagnosed with several different deficiencies that they're dealing with, and they're now finding out some things that they can get her the best care possible. So along with that and coaching, he's done a fine job being a dad and a coach. This ball's going to be close. Wow.
And that's going to end the first inning with your Bacon County Red Raiders down 2-0 to the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets.
Other coaches is assistant Stephen Tyre, Patrick McDonald, and Matthew Beecher. And then Coach Paul Glass on the other side. They don't have their coaches' names, and he's the only one I know. So I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to take another quick break here between innings as we head to the top of the second. And the Raiders trail 2-0. We'll be back in a moment.
We are back here live. Going to have Jeff Davis leading off the top of the second here, and I'll let Brent do his job eventually and read off the name of the batter.
I'm checking on stuff here.
He's number 7, Brent.
Is that Stone? Read that, man. I'm telling you, it's horrible.
Yeah,
Chicken scratch.
That is going to be Duke Stone, and he is actually a Georgia commit.
What's he going to do?
I believe he's a commit as a pitcher. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's only a sophomore.
Well, that's interesting because the Dogs I've been keeping up with them baseball-wise. They're a little up and down. They usually are early in the season.
Yeah, I'm not
midway through the season.
I'm actually not much of a college baseball guy. My focus is on the Braves and working on repeating as world champs this season. That's going to be a strikeout there.
So he's probably not going to Georgia to be a batter is what you're saying.
I don't know. Anything can happen, I guess. All right, I talked all this trash about Brent, and I get here. And
you can't read it, can you?
got number 2 up. His name is Ethan, and I honestly can't read his last name to y'all. That's going to be a foul ball, decently hit down the right field line.
No, I was looking at. I mentioned earlier. Some of you may have been tuning in to the automated broadcast, very similar to what you've been seeing soccer on last season and this season.
That's going to be a base hit up the middle.
I do have this AI camera, and they finally got it set up. Man, the picture looks great. I didn't broadcast with it tonight because we were going to be here. But it's doing exactly what it was designed to do, and I'm not sure why it hadn't been doing that the last 6 weeks. I finally got a good tech that actually knew what they were doing. The game the game with the AI will be posted a little bit later on demand, so you can go back and take a look at what it's supposed to look like. I don't think the score bug is working correctly, but I may have to manually update it tonight, and we'll see if we can't get that worked out before next week. But I'm very, very pleased to say that the camera has been configured correctly.
We've got number 9, Cade Harp up the bat, I believe is what that says.
If you've been tuning in, and then you can obviously see it now, right behind home plate, you see the number 31. If you're not aware of what that represents, Noble Coach Coley and the baseball program are honoring the late Jason Rigdon, Dr. Jason Rigdon, known here in the school district, but to me, excuse me, it's just old Jason. And if anybody that knew him, that's what he was to almost everybody that knew him. What a great guy, what a great family, and how he represented Alma and Bacon County as number one, as a man, and number two, as a school district employee, assistant superintendent. And he may have impacted even more people, more especially young men, on the baseball field, as he served multiple roles at all different levels, coaching these kids. Wait till this pitch. On a personal note, I have a story to tell, or kind of a story. Jason was 2 years older than me when we were in high school. So he was I guess a junior when I was a freshman playing baseball. And, he acted the exact same way as far as how he just want to take care of everybody and do the right thing. He took most of us guys coming up. And it helped that he knew my sister, and she was a year older than him. So, he knew who I was for a long time, so that helped. But he kind of took me under his wing when I moved up to the varsity level, that ninth grade year, and again, that's when I really got to know him and what kind of guy he was then, much less the man he turned out to be.
We're going to have a walk there, and Jeff Davis is going to bring a batter to the plate with 1 out and runners on first and second. This is their 9-hole Cason plants, possibly. Again, this writing looks like it's from 10 years ago because it's faded in most areas on the paper.
Well, like I said, we get these, what do you call them things where you write on and you tear the sheets off? It's
we'll just call it the hand-me-down version.
Yeah, but when you write on the top cover, I can't think of it. That's going to be a good bunt.
That is a pretty good spot.
Oh, and he should have never thrown it, and he did, and we got trouble. Oh, he held up. Oh, you got to hold it. Yeah, that's one of them. You just got to eat it. Natural reaction is to turn and throw. And here we go back, because I was a catcher for many years, believe it or not. He's the field general, and I'm not trying to throw Arnie under the bus, but that was the catcher's call there. He should have been directing traffic there and say, hold. But he may have been, but I didn't hear it up here.
Going back to you bringing up small ball in the first inning, that's one of the many things that it can do to you is little bunts like that to put a lot of pressure on you to make a play really quick, and when it goes wrong, it's going to look bad.
It's going to look bad. And, again, pressure. And when you got a group of kids through the lineup that can put it in play, can bunt it in play, you can put a lot of pressure on defense.
Yeah, I believe bunting is one of the lost arts in baseball in the era that we currently live in, with launch angles and home runs and all of that in the majors.
One of a few things me and you can agree upon. This ball is hammered into left center. Going to be a base hit. One run's going to score. Another one's rounding third. Big throw. Big arm by Brady. Still a little late there. It's going to be 4-0 here in the top of the second. Excuse me, 5-0. I missed that run again. We'll have a visit to the mound. And while we got this second, we see the number 31 that'll be here all season honoring Jason Rigdon. I see Carver Pharmacy. We got some sponsors. Many things that are painted on the field. It's kind of hard to see, and you can't see it really in my camera angle. But we have Carver's Pharmacy. Who's the next one there? Help me out, Griffin. South Georgia Insurance. We'll give these guys a plug. Who's this one over here? Dixie Air and Heating. And Southside Church of God. I want to give those a plug, as well as my sponsors, the 2021-22 athletics school year sponsors. If you've been watching some of the broadcasts, you'll see their logos in the corners on the soccer matches as well as the baseball. I want to thank Coley Electric and Plumbing Supply, Miss Lisa Coley. What a fantastic job she does for our community, providing the service that she does. Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales. This guy's been around a long time, and helping ball teams from T-ball all the way up through the varsity levels. Family Vision Care, Doctors Hutto and McQuaig and Day now. And last but not least, Burt CPAs, Mr. Larry Taylor specifically in our local office. I want to thank them for being a part of our broadcast all year long.
We have Jeff Davis's leadoff hitter back up the bat now with one out in the second inning. That is going to be hit back up the middle.
That's what you want to do.
Going to have a play at the plate here. Throw's going to be a little offline.
Ball should have probably been cut and held that runner at first. Maybe another mistake there. Had to been a perfect throw at home to have a chance. Now it's one out with a still runner at second. Is that the first baseman coming up to plate? It looks like him. He's a pretty big dude.
They have a few big guys over there. They have some size in that dugout.
Beautiful day for baseball. Weather in the low 80s, high 70s. A little bit of a breeze. Of course, I think the breeze may have – no, it hadn't died. I'm looking at the flag. It's blowing due west, really. Sort of an easterly.
Yeah, the trees in
west,
center field
northwest.
Are swaying back and forth.
Again, have some weather coming in if you've been keeping up with it. Just remember those folks out in Texas and Arizona and all the way through Louisiana now as those storms are barreling through.
We'll have a play at third there, and the ball's going to bounce up and roll into left field, and Jeff Davis will capitalize on that to score another run. That is going to bring Carter Mullis to the plate. Speaking of weather coming in, I believe there's some sunshine coming in as we are about to hit spring break.
I hear you.
I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, who looks forward to spring break? You know?
I don't know. You know, it's just a roadblock, it seems like, to get to the end of the year, you know. But I might take advantage and get a couple rounds of golf in.
Oh, yeah, I might take advantage and watch a couple of rounds of golf, known as the Masters.
The Masters. Hey.
I heard Tiger was at Augusta this week practicing, so hopefully that bodes well for his return.
I know Tiger's been through a lot, and some of it's been brought upon himself with some personal choices and this, that, or the other. But I have a soft spot for him as far as pulling for him competitively as an athlete, as a golfer, professional golfer. Number one, we're like 3 months apart as far as our age. I've followed him ever since he was in college. in the late 90s. And there's a strikeout for the Jeff Davis Jackets. That's going to be 2 outs with a 6-run lead here in the top of the second. It's unbelievable win he got at the Masters a couple years ago before this horrible accident he had a year ago.
That's going to bring Ethan Griffin to the plate. But, yeah, with Tiger winning the Masters just a couple years ago, in my lifetime and my I don't know what you would call it, but in my experience watching competitive golf, I'd never witnessed Tiger win a major, I don't believe. But Tiger had always been my favorite. But once he got in that crash, I don't remember how long ago that is now, probably 12 years or so, somewhere around there. Tiger had not been, the Tiger that I'd heard of. And then watching him and actually get to experience a Tiger win and come from behind on a Sunday at a major event, and with it being Augusta, it was just special to watch and be able to say that you witnessed that moment at least on TV.
Yeah, it was pretty special.
It's going to be a soft hit ground ball to the left side of the infield there. I was going to bring up number 14, Alex Mason, for the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets, for the runner on first and 2 outs here in the second inning.
Ball outside. It's going to get away from Arnie. He's going to advance to second. 2 outs, top of the second.
That is actually Knox Ledbetter behind the plate. Arnie is playing first base for your Raiders tonight.
Appreciate you making me look bad. Just
don't worry, you do that to yourself enough.
No, you could have just bumped me and said, hey, check the number out again.
Well,
or the size of the body or something,
Don't forget, I was a student of yours, Brent. I learned these things from the best.
I told you. I warned Griffin when he came. I said, "Yes, guy's gonna be on air for me tonight." I said, "He thinks he's funny," and he goes, "He is pretty funny."
I'm glad somebody appreciates it. We got Griffin over here about to pull his hair out. He's basically like the Raider baseball mascot at this point, I believe.
And that makes it even better for what you're doing, because see, my problem is I like all these sports that I like to commentate, and I get caught up, in watching the game instead of doing what I need to be doing, especially if I have to film. I'm pointing over there and I'm watching the action over here, so don't feel bad. So a lot of the kids I recruit that help me do video and film, they don't really care for sports much, and those are the better ones because they do a better job with their craft as far as doing the best they can on the camera and paying attention to that versus getting caught up in the emotion of the action, good, bad, or ugly.
See, now I know why you brought me along for the ride, so I can do all the hard work here and carry the program.
Yeah, that's right. I'm getting old. Older. I'll say.
You said it right the first time.
I'm a few more years, I might need somebody to kind of take over this student broadcasting gig.
That is number 7, Duke Stone, in the box for Jeff Davis. He's going to foul one straight back to start the at-bat.
2 outs. Runner at second. Still top of the second. Raiders trail 6-0.
7.
So, see, I'm always 1 run behind. Trying to help the Raiders out now. Well, I'm updating as well. I'll make sure I get it right. I'm also updating tonight's broadcast is it's going to be emailed directly to the coach, so he'll be able to evaluate this.
That is pop up there to center field, and Brady's going to close the inning out for us, and that's going to take us to the bottom of the second with Bacon County trailing 7-0. We're back here in the bottom of the second with senior Cole Smith leading off for your Raiders. Cole is a guy that had some off-season shoulder surgery and missed the first part of the season, but he has since returned to the lineup, but not in a field capacity. But it is good to have him in there where you can get him.
Cole, another one of the three seniors?
I believe so.
Yeah. Brady, him, and Jackson Connor. Jake, my son, is a senior this year, and he played some baseball early on until he played up until middle school with Rick. And when middle school, when he come into the 6th grade, they began the soccer program, and he decided he would try soccer, and he didn't look back until his sophomore year, and then started playing golf again. But played some baseball with these kids here. We won a state championship in that 9, 10-year-old. Lost one game that summer to a team out of Metter. We were something like 27-1, 28-1, and winning that state championship. So I've been around these kids for a while, and they played a lot of baseball.
That's going to be a little 5-3 put out there to start the first inning, and that'll bring your right fielder Chance Ivy up the bat.
Tell us a little bit about, I know you've been biting at the bit here to talk about middle school. You're talking about young, but we got some guys coming up from middle school next year that's going to help us. Whether they made immediate impact next year, but they're going to help us throughout their high school career.
That's a good little shot there up the middle from Chance. No, but with me coaching the middle school program the past 2 years, we started off last year as an extremely young group with only 3 8th graders. This year we will be sending 5 8th graders up to the high school level, and it is safe to say those guys definitely have some talent. And the guys that are behind them that will be returning to the middle school program last year are extremely talented themselves. And it is a group that if they stay together and work together, then they definitely have a chance of accomplishing something big in their high school career.
Especially on a personal level, they can accomplish things. But then as as the Red Raiders, I know, moving into this new regional, and that's something else we can talk about a little bit, another inning or so, but this new region is going to set up for almost, except for maybe football, I hate to say it, but every other sport is going to benefit from us moving into this new region, being, we're pretty competitive anyway. We're going to be really competitive in these other this sport, which baseball is not a minor sport by no means, but yes, it's that's going to help these guys be more successful as a whole, I should say.
Right, and this is a young team at the moment, and they will have had a few throws over to first base here in the last few moments. Keep an eye on Chance over there, but
I'm not sure why. He's not like a speed demon, is he?
No, but he does give off the impression those long strides, he can cover some ground.
Yeah, that is a tall kid at first base because Chance he's tall, and that kid's just as, if not taller.
Got another throw over to first base.
Well, anything to distract the pitcher from the batter is an advantage to the batter.
He's going to miss outside with that pitch.
That's 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls. I see it now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. And now there's 2 outs with a strikeout. And I believe Arnie. I recognize him now.
Yes.
Our first baseman tonight.
You finally got it right. Yes. Better late than never.
Arnie's another one. He's just a junior, but he's another one that was on that state championship team a long time ago.
He's going to swing at that little off the plate and didn't get it there.
Well, when you got such a wide strike zone there, that's what it forces you to do as a batter. You're trying to just, number one, protect the plate, much less trying to put the ball in a spot.
He's going to foul that one off himself.
It's a long second inning. Again, we started about 48 minutes in. We haven't finished the second.
Foul that one down the left field line over near the bullpen area. Got an 0-2 count here. That one's going to miss high and outside. Going to have a ground ball to short there, and he is going to make the throw to second to end the second inning with your Bacon County Red Raiders trailing the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets 7-0.
Again, we'll honor our sponsors here. We'll be back in just a moment to the top of the third action. Again, we're back here top of the third inning. Number 2 leads off.
It's going to be Ethan Picanso. Hope I said that correctly. He's playing second base for Jeff Davis tonight. Going to have a strike on the outside corner there to start him off.
On the inside corner of the other batter's box.
Outside corner of the plate and the inside corner of the left-handed batter's box, to be exact.
Come back inside for a good-looking pitch. Must have been a little high in the zone. I don't know. The only thing about calling a game on a Wednesday is it just feels like Thursday. I'm hoping tomorrow's Friday, but that just isn't it.
Yeah. But these weeks before holidays, they all sort of seem like Fridays to an extent.
They drag. We got, after Friday we have 9 days off, including the weekend, and it's a good break for us. We were joking earlier as we make the last run of 6 weeks in the school year. Kind of have to teachers regroup just so we can kind of hold it together. The rest of the year with testing beginning and all kinds of other things that go on.
And then for your seniors, I believe the senior festivities will really start to hit their stride once we come back from the break.
Yeah, we got prom. That's number 1. And then
I'll have a fly out to shallow right field there to start the inning off.
it kind of snowballs after that.
Yeah, I know one thing's for sure. After spring break, the school year really does fly by after that with everything going on in the midst of it.
Decent crowd for Bacon County side, a good student section. I am disappointed in the Jeff Davis side. Not near as many I thought would make the short trip over.
Yeah, I did expect for it to be relatively packed out tonight, but I don't think they. I don't think we are at that capacity.
No. Now I know in the last year, last year and this year, their radio guy, they do a fantastic job with their radio broadcast. He's here, but they've been broadcasting on Facebook now for a year and a half, so there may be some folks stay home and watch it. A lot of things have changed. Now, talking about a lot of stuff's happened since we've been on the air with softball. Just with our high school, as we were talking about spring break. After this pitch, strike on that outside corner. I mentioned earlier as they're honoring the late Dr. Jason Rigdon with his number behind the plate here. Tracy Martin, our now former principal, was asked to fill that position at the Board of Education, and they promoted Miss Pam Williams, who was hired this past year as our API, Assistant Principal of Instruction.
That's going to be ball four to Cade Harp there, and that's going to bring up Kason Clance.
And what that did was freed up her previous position, API position, and they have recently hired Mr. Clint Johnson, who was formerly, or actually he still is. He will continue his position until the fiscal year, which is July 1. But he is currently the CTAE director, Career Technical Agricultural Education Department, basically my coordinator at the moment. He will fill that position as API, and Miss Jessica Boatwright, who is currently our nursing instructor, is going to be promoted to that CTAE director position beginning next year. So base hit right. Oh, yep, just foul. Thought it was trouble. But the right fielder actually made a good play. Ivy was over there quickly. Would probably have held him to that single. But again, a lot of things in motion. We have a new coaching staff coming in for football. Some coaches leaving, coaches coming in. So it's a bit of change this year, just at the high school.
I believe that pitch apparently missed on that outside corner there. No, Caleb, we would prefer if you keep your glasses on. And that's going to be a little wide there. Had a little technical difficulty there for a second when we zoned out.
No, I turned the volume down, so I had a private conversation. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. I've done a poor job of keeping the count because I'm not doing it on my score bug. Ball is hit to right field.
Shallow right field there.
Yeah. C&I single there for that young man. Runners at the corner here in the top of the third with 1 out.
That is going to bring Jeff Davis back to the top of their lineup with their leadoff batter, Trenton Clance, up the bat.
And this is their third time through starting.
It is. Again,
a good stiff wind blowing due west, which is kind of weird because all that weather is coming from the west. Supposed to be coming in tomorrow morning, somewhere around 9 to 10. If I remember correctly, about 30-40% chance. Then it's around 11. It's 90 to 100, and from 11 till about 5 in the afternoon. I sure hope that it has calmed down since then. Maybe just get a little wind and rain.
Yeah, and if you guys didn't know, Brandon is thinking about becoming a meteorologist, apparently.
No, my son is actually.
Oh, that is true. Yes.
Give him a plug.
His son, Jake Johnson, recently accepted to the University of Georgia. Go Dogs yet again.
Proud of that accomplishment. He is, wants to be, right now anyway, a meteorologist. Will be entering UGA in the fall in atmospheric science.
How long of a program is that? How many years?
It's a 4-year degree, and then they offer a master's graduate studies in a couple different areas. But he wants to be more on the I guess analyst side. He don't want to be in front of the camera. He wants to be. That's another CNI single.
Get down in shallow center field there.
That's the kind of stuff that drives you as a coach and players crazy.
So far in the game, they've hit I believe they've made more soft contact than they have hard contact. And
I think maybe that was what I was told happened last night. It was like 5-1 in the 4th or 5th inning, and then they just started dinking it, and it's just and again, nothing you can do about it other than it drive you slam crazy.
I know as a coach, it definitely, I wouldn't say gets under your skin, but it definitely frustrates you and gets your blood pressure up a little bit to have your pitcher out there, throwing well and for balls to be coming off the bat and not be hit hard, and to see them get down and have runners on base is just, it gets to you. I know we had a middle school game this year where I can't quite remember what the score was at the game at the time, but it was around the 5th inning, and we were down. Like I said, I can't remember the exact score, but there had not been a ball hit in the game that had not touched the glove of one of our fielders, and you could only imagine how we felt about that. We are going to get the out at second there on that play.
Going to be 2 outs here with runners at the corners, 1st and 3rd. Again, top of the 3rd, 8-0. We're in, possible danger of a couple more runs. We're in that run rule mark of the 5th inning. I think it's 10 after 5, 12 after 4, 15 after 3.
Jeff Davis has their 3-hole hitter Carter Mullis up to bat here.
And by the way, again, the shadow it's not doing on our screen anyway, what you're watching at home is not doing the field justice. Caleb brought it up earlier, how beautiful and immaculate the field looks. And these coaches, they work really hard at it, along with Mr. Jimmy Scott does a good job helping them maintain these fields, keeping them sprayed for bugs and for pests and weeds and such. But, man, the field does look really good. We transitioned last year from clay base paths down the 1st and 3rd. Now we're grass.
Yeah, and I was down there field level before the game, and I happened to look around and notice that the grass, it is a very good-looking field at the moment. We're going to have a play at the plate where we are going to get an out there to end the inning and leave the score at 8-0 with Jeff Davis leading going to the bottom of the 3rd.
But, again, the field looks good. We come out and did some video work preseason to put together a little a little hype thing for them, and I just wasn't crazy about it. I even told Cody, I said, man, I'm not sure if I like this or not. But up here from the booth, man, it looks really good. It looks really good. We're going to take another quick break and be back here in just a moment at the top of the fourth. Excuse me, bottom of the third.
We are here back to start the bottom of the third with Cale Taylor up the bat. Your starting left fielder for the Red Raiders tonight. That's going to be a ball low to start the at bat. It's going to be a foul ball over to near the third base dugout. Coach Coley's going to make that play. That's going to be another ball to Cale there, and with a 2-1 count. It's going to be a ball outside, 3-1. Ball is also going to miss outside, so Cale is going to start the inning off with a walk, and that is exactly what you're looking for if you are a Red Raider or a Red Raider fan, is you want to try to start making a comeback here as soon as possible.
I was going to say about Jackson, he's got just a Grizzly Adam beard. You know, you want to check his birth certificate when he's walking down the hall.
That's going to be a ground ball to short, and they're going to make the play there. The runner will be safe at second base, so that's going to bring Garrett off to the plate with a runner on second and 1 out here.
Now, I was just looking at the broadcast on the other camera. I'm real pleased now, man. This looks really good. This is what it's supposed to do. And we do live broadcast with that AI. I think everybody at home is going to be real pleased with it as well.
Garrett is going to rip one down the third base line there, but it is going to be just a foul. Going to be another foul ball there by Garrett, so he is looking at a 0-2 count here with a runner on second with 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. think Garrett is going to pop that one out of play over there back onto the softball field. So he'll get another go at it. Garrett's going to hit one there in the 5-6 hole. Your shortstop's going to make a great play to make a stop on the ball, but he is not going to have a play at third or first. So that's going to give your Red Raiders runners on first and third with one out. Brady Coffin up the bat. Brent has finally returned to us from the island of relevancy, as he is a celebrity these days, and his phone just rings off the hook nonstop.
Yeah, from my wife.
Yeah.
Wanting something. I see we have runners at the corner with one out, and Brady Cawthon at the plate. This, I tell you what, sets up for him right here to drive in a run. Like to see an extra base hit. A pretty good gap there between center and left field, and a lot of room down left field if he could push one down.
You know, I wouldn't mind if he drove in.
Hammers one to the right center. There's the gapper.
That is going to bounce off the fence.
That's going to score two, and he's going to end up at third.
Yeah, I believe Brady's going to end up.
Oh, what did they hold him up for? You're down.
Brady is going to double off the right center wall there.
Oh, goodness me.
That's going to bring your score to 8-1. Raiders are going to have runners on second and third here with one out, and Knox Ledbetter up the bats. The Raiders are gaining some momentum here and starting a little rally.
You know, I guess I'd understand if it was a 4-2, 8-7 kind of game this early. But when you're down 8-0, I think you got to got to roll the dice right there. Give that young man a chance to score, and Brady's definitely going to make it to third.
Jeff Davis is going to come out for a little conference here on the mound.
I understand why you have little comment on coaching decisions and choices. I understand your position. You don't even got to. You don't have to grunt or anything. But I'm not saying anything out of the way. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. That's just my opinion in this particular situation. But he gets paid the big bucks to do that. But again, it's early in the game. I'm probably, again, rolling the dice on that particular play.
Change your name to Riverboat Brent. And here while we have a break in the action, I believe talking about those Georgia Bulldogs, I believe G-Day is quickly approaching.
A couple weeks.
Correct.
They give them extra days of practice this year, which kind of messed things up. We're thinking G-Day, well, it's next weekend. It's next weekend because they've been practicing for about 3 weeks now. So that's interesting.
That pitch is going to miss way outside. But, yeah, speaking of the Dogs, January 10th is a day that will not soon be forgotten in Georgia Bulldog lore. Is
what was that?
Finally overcome the obstacle known as the Alabama Crimson Tide and secured a national championship for the first time in my lifetime. Brent's actually old enough to remember when they won it before.
I don't remember it. I was only 5, okay? I'm sure I was in the room with my dad, but I don't remember the game. But I remember all the heartache since then.
Knox is going to get hit in the back there by a pitch. And speaking of aches and pains.
Yeah, he's going to be a little sore there tomorrow. The bases are loaded up with only one out. And this is, again, an opportunity for the Raiders to get a couple back here, put a little pressure on this defense. It looks like it's going to be, is that Cole?
Yes.
Coming up to the plate.
Cole Smith is up the bat here with the bases loaded, but Yeah, looking forward to seeing what Georgia's looking like this spring. G-Day is always nice to look at. I believe we start a quarterback controversy every single year. So,
Well, I've been reading a lot of hype around number 15, which is the kid from Jacksonville, who we've known since he got there. He has all the physical tools, and a big arm. His athleticism. I think only thing really in question was like a lot of quarterback, is his IQ. Now, when I'm not saying not about smartness, a smart kid, I'm talking experience. The QB IQ is it to the same level as even Stetson Bennett, and moreover Vandegrift, because he's been groomed for what's happened to him in the last 6 or 8 years from middle school on up. And this kid from Jacksonville, he really just came to into his own his junior year in high school, basically. So he's still learning to play the position of quarterback, much less at an elite college level.
Got a 2-1 count here on Cole. And, yeah, with all those quarterbacks, and you certainly can't leave out the true freshman early enrollee Gunnar Stockton from Rabun County.
What a ball player. I followed him the last 2 seasons, kept up with him and watched him several times play on Friday nights under the lights, and he's special. He reminds me a lot of that Tebow. You got a football player playing quarterback, because he don't mind toting that rock and taking some hits and giving them, much less slinging it down the field 40, 50 yards as well.
I believe at the rate that Georgia's recruited since Kirby's gotten there, I believe that we will not have a talent deficiency on the roster this year, but there will be some younger, less experienced guys on the field this season, and that's going to be a foul ball down the third baseline there with a full count to Cole.
But we've got enough experience in some key spots, like running back, like 1 or 2 wide receivers that will be healthy, that have experience. Some DBs on the defensive side. We're going to have 1 or 2 linebackers. We lost several. We're going to have the best defensive lineman in the country once again in Carter. After losing 2.
That is going to go right
hole.
under the glove of the second baseman and possibly roll to the fence or very close to it. Cole's going to stand up on second with a double, and he will clear the bases and give your Raiders. They have cut the deficit to 8-4 here in the third inning. That is exactly what we needed in that moment.
I tell you, ever since we've started talking about the Dogs, man, we've been scoring some runs.
I'm telling you, winners win, man. I guess we just got to keep on talking.
I know, just go Dogs.
Yeah.
No, that's what I said. We're gonna, we're losing 2 of the top defensive linemen in the country, maybe the best, and Jordan Davis, and who we got coming back, Carter. He's just a sophomore, going to be a junior, and I truly believe he's the best college defensive lineman right now.
Chance is going to come to the plate here, and the pitcher's going to start him off with a strike. But, yeah, going back to it was around the middle of last season, everything I was hearing and reading is scouts were relatively high on Carter and said that he was probably already the best player on that defense. And so getting him back for another year is not a bad thing.
No.
And that is extremely high praise given the amount of talent that was on that defense. Got a little pickoff move there to second base.
Yeah, the only thing that maybe concerns me a little bit, and it's it's part of it is a little bit of a coaching carousel. You got to have some gel there with the players and the trust of the new staff as they come in and implement what little they can. I think they're maybe it's tougher on the coaches learning Kirby's,
right.
Learning his style and how he coaches.
Kirby is extremely hands-on.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's going to hit Chance and put him on first base. So we're going to have runners on first and second with 1 out here as the Raiders are mounting a rally. I think we would be remiss to talk about Georgia football, we did not mention the name Brock Bowers, as he will come back for a sophomore season. And
wow. I just hate it, that he has to miss spring. He had to have a little bit of I don't know if did he end up having surgery? I know he's having some therapy on that shoulder.
Did have shoulder surgery early in the offseason.
But he's going to be fine, but he's just going to miss some spring. Washington as well is going to miss spring. We got a ton of tight ends. This Oscar Delp, it's going to give him an opportunity to.
I've heard the early rumors is he is a baby Bowers.
Yeah, he's a beast too, just a freak of nature.
And Arik Gilbert is back with the team and is practicing at tight end this spring, given the lack of depth there for the spring.
He's another freak. When I say that, it's the size and speed of these guys is just unreal. So we definitely got some bright spots to look forward to. It's bittersweet. You can't wait till end of August, 1st of September. But by doing that, we wish our summer away. We want a long summer break.
That's always one of the things. When summer starts coming to an end, you got to go back to work. But
you got something to look forward to.
Football is starting up rather quickly after that.
Yeah.
Talking about Bowers just for another second, as I was reading something yesterday, and I forget who it was, but they done a ranking of returning sophomores in college football, and Bowers was ranked at the 6th best returning sophomore in the country. And I have a hard time naming 5 sophomores better than Brock Bowers.
Yeah. Was any of those teams Ohio State? Well, one of them had to be the quarterback at Alabama.
Well, see, he's a redshirt sophomore. So he's a third-year player, Bowers being a second-year player.
I'm just talking about these teams that are super-duper hyped by the media. Ohio State, your USCs, your Texas A&M. Ball gets away from the catcher. Runners advance to second and third. So Jeff Davis has had a little lapse here.
This has been a long bottom of the third inning for Jeff Davis, and luckily for us, we can talk about Georgia football all day, so it's going well for us at the moment.
Another base hit would be nice.
That is going to miss outside also. Jordan is going to be working with a 3-0 count here.
He could help himself here. He could punch one through. That was the one.
This is going to be a first strike of the at-bat there. We can't talk about the national championship without mentioning Keely Ringo's huge play that sealed the deal.
That was a catch heard around the world.
That was the moment that every Georgia fan realized that the time was now and that all the heartbreak was seemingly washed away there in one fell swoop.
Yes.
Redshirt sophomore.
Sophomore.
Hey,
playing time.
Yeah. Now we've got Jared Arney up the bat with yet again the bases loaded, so the Raiders are looking at a prime opportunity here to cash in. It's going to be a strike, I believe, on the outside part of the plate.
Boy, what a hit here would do for this young man's confidence and our Red Raider team.
Not mind seeing a shot in the gap. That's going to be hit to the first baseman with a slot bobble.
Runner's still going to score.
We will get a run out of that. And Jeff Davis will pick up an out, so that will bring Kel Taylor up the bat with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third, and your Raiders trailing 8-5. So they have cut the deficit by 4 runs here in the inning.
And we've now batted around. Didn't Kel lead off the inning?
He did. Batting around is never a bad thing.
He took a walk. Runners at second and third.
With 2 outs. It's going to be a strike on the outside part there.
Just a bit outside. And again, we were talking, and the game began, Sky mentioned Coach Glass's son is out seemingly for the year, broke his hand. He was the starting catcher, did a great job for him last year. That championship run.
Kale was going to foul one off there towards the on-deck circle. It would be great to get these two runners in right here.
It's going to be a strikeout. It's going to end the inning. Nonetheless, the Raiders tack on 5? 4.
Five runs
okay.
there.
That's right.
Yeah, neither of us are math teachers, if you can't tell.
Well, I thought maybe we had scored one in the bottom of the, the top of the second, but we didn't. We scored 5 here. It's going to be 8-5 as we head to the top of the fourth. Yeah, top of the fourth.
Yep, top of the
fourth. Top of the fourth, yeah. We're going to take a quick break. Me back in just.
Instrumentals only out here. All right, and that's going to bring us back here to the top of the fourth. Your Raiders trailing 8-5, but had a very good bottom of the third inning here. So let's hope we can ride that momentum through the rest of the ball game. That is going to be a line drive in the left field there, and left fielder's going to come up just a step short.
That's a nice scoop, I will say that. I thought he was in trouble. He was handcuffed there, but the young man, Kale, makes a really good play there defensively, keeping it in front of him.
We have got number 8, Ethan Griffin, up the bat here for Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets. He is their cleanup guy and their DH for the game tonight.
I got a feeling you think there was a little bit of a talking to in the dugout after that last inning on that Jeff Davis side?
It might not have occurred in the dugout. Good little scoop there at first base on that pickoff attempt. Just to mention other Bacon County sports right now, I believe our tennis team is heading to the playoffs in the upcoming weeks.
Our girls have clinched the number 1 spot in the region. That's the first time that's happened in quite some time. I'm very proud. They defeated Jeff Davis last week for the first time in, I can't remember it's been a long time since that's happened. So.
Your girls' soccer team is in the 4 seed on their side of the region. Had a big win last night. The boys,
are they still in that 4 seed? I thought
that's what I was told today.
Let me look on my Max Preps. It don't lie.
And the boys, I believe they were first, and that's going to be a hard hit ground ball there between the 5 and 6 hole. So Jeff Davis has put some runners on base here to start the 4th inning. So your Raiders will want to find a way to get out of this one rather quickly. But yeah, I believe the boys They came up a little short in overtime last night, and I believe they were the 1 seed going into the game. I'm not sure if they are coming out of it.
The girls are currently in third position with 6 wins and 4 losses in region play. Jeff Davis, who we play one more time, are 11-0. They've pretty much clinched the region 1 spot, the number 1 spot there. We'll face East Lawrence, which our girls defeated when they played them before. So again, we're sitting in that 3rd spot. I think we got to play everybody one more time in the next couple of weeks, but in good position to potentially snag that 2 spot and host a game. It's a possibility.
In the meantime, we've got a pitching change out here for your Red Raiders as Jackson Connor has replaced Jordan Martin on the mound, and Jordan is going to play second base here.
I was looking at our boys standing here in the region. They're in 3rd as well with a 7-3 record. And the boys struggled. We beat Woodville at home, and then they beat us at their place. If we had defeated them, we would be actually in 1st place right now. Actually tied for 1st. But we got to beat Toombs, and that'll put us in that 2nd spot. That'll guarantee us 2nd spot if we can beat Toombs. And so again, just got a little more work to do there to finish out the season.
Quick plug here, Brandon. Have you placed your coffee order for Monday morning?
I did. The free one?
Exactly.
When are we supposed to get that?
So at the high school, we have our self-contained room led by Miss Ryan Beecher, who is doing a fantastic job down there with some of the things she's got going on. They have started up a little coffee shop called the Baking Brewers, and the kids are making coffees and hot chocolates on Friday mornings and delivering them towards the end of first block. And this week, all of the teachers at the high school have been rewarded with a free coffee or hot chocolate. So
what'd you get?
I'm going to get hot chocolate this week.
I debated. I almost flipped a coin, but I went with the coffee. I had a little bit of caramel mix and a couple of those things, a few sugars, and we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
I like coffee. I just don't drink a lot of it.
I'm not a big coffee person, actually, but they have got me on board. And
have you tried the hot chocolate?
I have not.
Okay.
I tried the coffee the first week, and I actually forgot to place my order last week, but I'll get back on track this week.
Because it's free.
Nothing wrong with that. Jackson is going to hit a batter there, so Jeff Davis has now loaded the bases up on us here to start the 4th inning.
With no outs. And what you what you always want to try to do when you're able to score some runs, whether you're up or you're just able to kind of find your way back into the game like we've done here, man, if you're 3 up and 3 down, or at least a scoreless bottom of or half an inning bodes well for you. But Raiders have put themselves in another pickle here with bases loaded and no outs.
Yep, and that's going to be a fly ball to center field that I believe Brady is going to get under and make a play on.
And that's a good play there, getting it back to the second base. Runner's going to score, but that saves him throwing it home. That would have allowed the runner at first to advance.
Jeff Davis is looking at runners on first and third, 1 out now.
Scores 9-5. With 1 out.
Going to get a called strike there on the check swing. But, yeah, going back to what Brent was saying, when you have a big inning like the Raiders did in the bottom of the third, you'd like to get the top of the fourth over rather quickly and keep that momentum on your side. Now I believe we are in a tug of war here with Jeff Davis in terms of having the momentum.
Now that previous pitch, when they called that a swinging strike there, did they ask for help really from the guy from in the middle infield?
They did indeed.
Well, that's strange because I'm not sure how he could have seen it any better than the home plate umpire.
All right.
I mean, I'm not – obviously, it helped us. Well, he's going to make it to base anyway. I think it maybe hit his jersey, if that. He faked it well if it didn't get him. Having a little confrontation.
Yeah, we had a little, I wouldn't call it an appeal there.
I'm not sure what that was actually about. What was he? Can you tell what he was upset about, Coach?
I believe that Coach Coley was not on board with that pitch hitting the batter, as the umpire didn't exactly make a quick call there in terms of signaling that the batter was going to get first base.
Yeah, it was almost like the batter talked him into it. That's what I saw too. Like I said, that's why I said he did a good job of acting. If it got him, it barely did. But you know, it's easy to get frustrated. And a little bit of frustration there, you could tell.
Got a strike there.
And sometimes, and I'm not saying that happened this time, sometimes the coach will do certain things to kind of put a little fire under his players, maybe get behind him. He's trying to create some momentum, and obviously Coach Cully would never do anything deliberately to disrespect the umpire, even when he's upset. But sometimes it's a sort of a rallying cry. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely. I mean, anytime your players see you're behind them and you're fighting for them, it definitely can pick them up no matter what the situation is. And you always welcome any type of spark that you can get. We're going to have a pass ball there, and Jeff Davis is going to tack on a run with runners advancing up to second and third on the play. Yeah, I believe that was quite the confrontation there, and Coach Coley was only about halfway in between the dugout and home plate there. It wasn't a face-to-face heated conversation.
I think he was asked, or not asked, but told by the umpire he was going to have to take a seat and wouldn't be able to get back up. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. I couldn't understand what he told him there at the end.
I think he told him that last thing is, you know, and that he was going to ask him to keep his seat the remainder of the game. I do know these coaches are aware, and this is every sport. I'm assuming it's every sport across the board. If you're a coach I know specifically at the varsity level, and you get tossed, there's a fine associated with that. And if I'm not mistaken, I was told it was a $250 fine.
At the middle school level, it is $250 for us if we get thrown out.
Yep, that's what I was told it was for the varsity. Had a conversation about basketball because that seems like I think basketball is probably where more coaches get tossed than any sport. You rarely see it on a football field, but basketball and baseball are those two sports where it happens. Seems like more often than not. But And that's a fine that comes out of the coach's pocket, not the athletic department. So they are aware of that. But in the heat of the moment, you're not thinking about your checkbook when you're trying to defend your team.
Going to have a strikeout there, so Jackson is going to get us to 1 out on the board, 2 outs. Yeah, 2 outs, Caleb. The umpire shouted it up here.
We got Caleb a little flustered here.
Caleb's scared he's going to get thrown out of the game now.
You've been sitting down the whole time. So if he tells you just keep a seat, it's okay. You're not. And that ball is.
That's going to get down in the left center gap.
Yeah, they're going to send him.
Going to score 2.
And he's got him in second. Yes, sir.
And we're going to get the out at second base.
Does that run count?
It will.
So we got 2 more home. It's going to be 12-5 as they score 4. Get 4 back of the 5 we were able to collect. But nonetheless, Raiders are still in it. We're going to head to the bottom of the 4th. And we're going to take another break and be back in a moment. All right, here we go.
We are back on the air here. Jackson Connors up the bat. He is currently ahead in the count 1-0. So we had a little scoreboard malfunction here thanks to the 2 guys sitting to my left side. I thought I was working with some pros up here. Turns out that they're professional amateurs.
Yeah, the umpires got a little fired up here, and I'm going to have to get on the loud horn.
I do believe
simmer everybody down.
I do believe that is now Coach Tyre coaching third base.
I'm telling you, he told him he had to sit. He could stay, but he told him he had to sit
the
remainder of the game.
Coach Coley has been resign to the dugout for the remainder of this one. Jackson's going to hit one back up the middle, and the
Oh,
shortstop's
nice play.
going to make a diving play, and he is going to be safe at first base there by an eyelash maybe.
Man, what you just gotta say what a great play that was by that young man up the middle. I wasn't rooting for him to get the out, but man, what a play! It wouldn't have been terribly disappointing.
Anytime your shortstop makes a play on the second base side of the second base, it is quite an accomplishment. That is some range. That is going to bring Garrett all up to the plate here.
If the ball had been hit any sharper, it would have been just a base hit right up the middle there. Oh, off the helmet.
That is going to be off of Garrett's helmet.
That's the fourth batter we've had hit, if not fifth.
Third or fourth, I believe.
Ivy's been hit. Kale, not Kale, one after Kale.
I believe Cole got hit.
He got hit, and I think that's the fourth batter.
Yeah, so it's at least 4 at this point. Jeff Davis also made a pitching change here to start the inning. They brought in a lefty that I've not been able to see his number yet. Got Brady Cawthorn up the bat. First pitch strike there.
Brady got things going with a big double.
Would not be bad to see him replicate that right here.
Yeah, they're a little deeper on that right side now in the outfield, especially the right fielder.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of room left center.
I think your center fielder looks a little shallow from up here also.
He is a little shallow, but you got to think he's with that alignment, they've got to be – he's not going to throw him anything outside, I wouldn't think. Give him a chance to go the other way. Well, it's way outside, so that's sort of a throwaway pitch there. 2 balls, 1 strike, and we're going to get a – yeah, he was – I knew the ball was there. I wasn't sure if the tag would get down. That's the second time he's been thrown out at third.
Ground ball there to first base. Oh,
I'll be honest with you, that ball should have been called foul, don't you think? He fielded it in foul territory.
I didn't really have a good angle on it.
I know he fielded it in foul territory. I don't know if that was maybe that was a little give back there. I don't know, but that was it was obvious outside of the line. But we'll take it as the ball was knocked away inadvertently. You can't deliberately knock a ball out of someone's hand or glove. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Speed on the bags.
Strike there on the first pitch. Got freshman Knox Ledbetter here up the bat.
Again, bottom of the fourth, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 12-5. JD leads.
That ball is fouled straight back by Knox.
High and tight. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think we need to say go Dogs again.
Yeah, let's talk about something. Hey, I could tell about my elevator experience, and I had a brain fart and didn't get a picture with one of the stars of the Bulldog defense. We was in Athens a couple weeks ago. I had some students up there competing for a Technology Student Association, our state conference, and fixing to step into or headed to the elevator, and some gentlemen walked along in front of us, got right and was waiting at the elevator, and I knew this guy. He had to be some type of athlete. He was just a good-looking kid, you know. And we walk in the elevator, and one of the guys said, "Hey, what y'all doing here?" And I said, "Well, we're here at the state convention. Got a bunch of high school kids from all over the state." He said, "Yeah, I've seen a bunch." I said, "Well, there's about 3,500 kids here." I said, "What y'all doing here?" And before he could answer, I just looked over at the guy beside me, you know, and he's about 6'3", 230, 235. And I said, "You look like a ball player." He said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I'm Channing." And that'd be Channing Tindall, number 41, the inside linebacker for the Dogs, who just had his pro day. That was Thursday, the day before, and had just showed out at the Combine a couple weeks ago, just like all the Dogs did. And all I could think to say was, because the elevator door opened and I was stepping out, I said, "Dude, congratulations on the championship." And I walked away. I should have got a picture or something.
In the meantime, we've got a balk there on Jeff Davis. The runners are going to advance to second and third. And to go along with Brent's story there is Channing didn't realize that he was standing in the presence of a bigger celebrity than he is.
I guess that's the truth. That should have been giving him my autograph. You know,
he should have been asking you for a picture.
That'd have been funny, you know. Say, "Hey, Channing, would you like a picture with me?" Just to joke with him. You know, he'd probably, laughed it off. And I'd got a great photo op there with him. But I wasn't quite that witty. I couldn't even think to get a picture with him. That's going to end the inning. 12 to 5. Your Raiders trail, and we're in danger of that run rule. We got to hold them here. 8 after 5.
Need a big inning by your Red Raiders here. Definitely need a quick inning here on defense.
We just got a 3-up, 3 down here. We can't let them score any runs. If we do, then we have to score in the bottom of the fifth, continue this game, bottom line. So we're going to take another quick break here on the NFHS Network. Powered by Play on Sports, brought to you by BCTV Red Raider.
We're back here in the top of the fifth, and Jeff Davis is going to have their leadoff batter, Trenton Clance, up to start the inning. That is going to drop just over the first baseman's outstretched glove there down the foul territory along first base. You know, Brent, not only do we have the Masters coming up next week, but opening day of the MLB season is upon us April 7th.
I keep up with baseball. I just don't sit down and watch whole games until latter part of the season. I'm not a fair. I don't call myself a fair weather fan. I just don't sit down and watch a lot of baseball. I do keep up with the Braves, obviously. it's like with college basketball. I keep up with college basketball throughout the season, but I watch the tournament play. Same thing with college baseball and softball. I do the same. Watch the tournament play.
I want to say it was definitely nice watching the Braves capture that World Series title when if you would have told someone in July that the Braves were going to win the World Series, I'm not sure anybody would have believed you with the amount of injuries that the Braves accumulated last season.
And you know what, I really do.
We've got a high fly ball here to left field that Cale Taylor is going to make the play on to give your Raiders one out here in the top of the fifth.
I really do hate it for Acuna Jr., who is, if he wasn't the best player in baseball, he's definitely top three. And for them to win the World Series without him being able to play it, that's a huge testament, like you said. But I hate it for him because he may not ever have that opportunity again. Now, we hope that the Braves are going to maybe repeat or win in the next few seasons again while he's with them. But the chances they're just the odds are against him because of the parity.
It's going to be a little 5-3 play there. Aiden White over to Jared Arney for your second out.
Now, again, he's a part of it, but not being on the field and contributing, that's a big difference, especially to competitors like him.
I will say he was the best cheerleader in the dugout during the Braves playoff run last season. Definitely looking forward to him being a part of the run this season, as it is good for the Braves and good for the game of baseball in general when Ronald Acuna is on the field and making plays and doing what he does at the plate. I will say the Braves did, I believe, get better in the offseason. I know they lost the sentimental value in Freddie Freeman, but, you know, if Freddie's the best first baseman in baseball, then I believe they replaced him with probably the second best first baseman in baseball. And adding Kenley Jansen was big, and bringing back Rosario, and you get Acuna back in the lineup. So, hopefully Soroka can get back healthy and return at some point later in the season. So definitely wouldn't look for the defending champs to take a step back, as hopefully they can continue their run, and definitely would not mind seeing them raise that trophy yet again this season. So we've got Jackson starting off this batter with a 2-0 count here in the top of the fifth. That is number 5, Carter Mullis, up to bat for the Yellow Jackets. Got a foul ball there down the third base line. Literally right down the third base line. It's going to bring the count full here. 3-2, 2 outs, top of the fifth inning. The sun has went down and it has cooled off a little bit out there. It's going to miss low with that one. Issue a walk there. He's going to bring their cleanup hitter Ethan Griffin up to the plate.
Again, we're trying to keep Jeff Davis off the board here to extend this game or help extend this game. I know the Raiders can score an additional run, but if they Looking at the run rule, it's 12 after 3, 15 after 3, 12 after 4, 10 after 5. Is it, maybe I'm wrong, 8 after 6, or is it 8? I think it's 8 after 5. It jumps from 12.
Also, we are in the midst of our Bacon County Red Raider baseball gun raffle drawing. Players and members of the program sold gun raffle tickets for, I believe, the better part of a month.
Yeah, and I had to cut you off, but one of the kids asked me if I wanted to buy one, and I told him to get back with me because I had to ask somebody else to make sure. I always tell them, the first kid that asked me, we have so many stuff going on, first people that ask us, between me and my wife, who worked at the high school, I said, all right, if I buy one, I'm buying it from you, but you're going to have to come back and remind me, and he never did, so I wasn't able to get a ticket.
Right. And what it is they draw for 15 guns over 5 days, 3 guns per day, and today will be day 3 of that drawing. That is going to be – that play is going to be made by chance. Obviously, your Raiders will hold the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets scoreless here in the 5th inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the 5th with the score Jeff Davis 12, your Bacon County Red Raiders 5.
And again, we'll take another break here and honor our sponsors. We'll be back here in just a moment.
We're back here in the bottom of the 5th. Chance Ivy just flew out to center field there. And that's going to bring Jordan Martin up to the plate with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Your Raiders trailing 12-5. Hopefully they can get some momentum back right here. Oh, and that's going to hit Jordan.
That's the 5th batter hit by J.D. pitching tonight. Just saying. What are they doing, waiting on the scoreboard to fix?
Wow.
I'm giving Caleb a hard time. Caleb is a senior, by the way. Bacon County High School. Good kid. I went to school with his dad. We grew up together in church and spent a lot of times playing as boys and growing up through, again, grammar school, middle school, high school. And our boys have sort of grew up together. They're graduating together this year. It's funny how things can come full circle. Amazing how time flies. I just was in the dollar store before I come here, and I ran into a former student. She had two little beautiful little girls in the buggy with her. She's been out of school about 8 years now, 8 or 9, and maybe 10 now, 10 years, yeah. And I was just telling her how fast it goes. My oldest is graduating from college in a couple months, and my middle child, like I just said, Jake's graduating this year from high school, and I still have one to go, but it won't take long for her either. Scott, what year did you graduate?
I'm a 2016 graduate.
Yeah. Young buck.
Yeah, and I had the privilege, I guess you could call it, of having Brent as a teacher every year of high school. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing.
Well, look how you turned out, man. I mean, you're going to be a pretty good teacher before it's over with.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it's going to turn out for you.
Yeah, you taught me everything and what not to do.
Sky teaches history, forensics, which the kids really enjoy as an elective. You're certified in about 8 different things, aren't you?
Health, PE, history, and science. So, yeah.
Pretty smart kid. He actually finished college in 4 years, whereas most it takes 5, 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey.
Yeah, graduated from here in 2016, went to college for 4 years. 2020 college graduate, although I didn't have an official college graduation because my college graduation was during the COVID year. So COVID shut that down and came back home. And
yeah, I've often thought about, the old saying, it ain't what you know, it's who you know. So you must have knew somebody to get hired on here.
Oh, yeah. I just told them I knew Brent Johnson, and they said, well, here you go.
Ball's fouled right back over us. Man, that pretty blue sky back there above the trees. You can't really tell on our broadcast screen. I can see it on my camera. It kind of dulls it when it runs through the computer. But, again, just a perfect day for baseball. This ball is hit sharply to the third baseman.
He's going to make the play and get Jeff Davis out of the inning there. So we will go to the top of the 6th with your Red Raiders trailing the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets 12-5.
Again, I want to thank our 2021-22 athletic school year sponsors. They've gotten some coverage with our automated broadcast through basketball season and during soccer. But I want to audibly recognize Coley Electric and Plumbing Supply, Burt CPA, Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales, and Family Vision Care. We'll be back in a moment.
back in the top of the 6th inning with your Raiders trailing Jeff Davis 12-5.
That ball didn't hit him.
I think it must have went
right
behind him.
Right behind him. I thought it pegged him, or at least got a piece of him. I know the ball come on through, but he stood there pretty like it wasn't no big deal.
Certainly had no reaction there.
No. Don't see a whole lot of, in the majors sometimes you see some retaliation. When especially certain batters are hit, or when a number of batters are hit. I know we've been hit at least 5 times tonight by J.D. pitching. But you don't see a lot of that in high school, and that's just good sportsmanship.
Well, for me being a coach, I mean, I don't really want to put runners on base intentionally, so
that's a fact. Little meeting at the mound there. If you're just joining us, and it's kind of hard to tell maybe exactly which coach is which from that distance, but that was Coach.
That was Coach McDonald.
I almost called him Beecher, but Beecher's a little taller. That was Coach McDonald making that visit to the mound. Coach Tyre has McDonald's on first base and Tyre's at third. Coach Coley had a little run in a couple innings ago with the home plate umpire with I don't know if you call it controversial, but just a little bit of a late reaction call on a potential hit batsman at home. And anyway, so Coach Coley he's got to stay in the dugout.
Got a 2-1 count here.
Good pitch. It's that consistent pitch. I don't know if it's a good pitch, but it's a consistent call from this umpire.
Well, most of the time as a coach, really all you ask for is consistency.
Yeah. And I've said this before, jokingly and literally. I want an umpire to be consistent, either consistently good or consistently bad, one or the other. When I say bad, I mean that's pretty bad when you're calling a strike that's at least 6 inches off the plate. That's kind of a bad thing there. But again, if you're consistently calling that pitch, the pitcher knows it after an inning or two. The batters know it after an inning or two that's your spot. And I don't have a huge issue with it, especially when both pitchers on both teams are getting the same call.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to have to be learning a new strike zone every inning. Got a bunt back to the pitcher there.
And able to make that out. Again, the Raiders play 7 innings in high school ball. Raiders are trying to keep that runner from scoring. That's going to be 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Again, we're trying to keep them from getting that 8-run lead.
It's going to be a little inside there on that pitch.
We talked about some of the other sports. I'll give golf a plug. Monday, the boys varsity team defeated Brantley County over at Laura Walker. And then yesterday, our boys defeated Toombs County here at Blueberry. None of these really matter ultimately. They don't play a region schedule like all these other sports. They have a regional tournament, and it is the first week of May.
Brady's going to make that play there in shallow center field.
He showed off his athleticism I was talking about there, just really fast, really quick.
Got 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Yeah, speaking of golf, that is something I have not had the luxury and the time of playing here recently, so I'm sure my golf game is in shambles, but that's nothing new.
Well, sometimes a break,
oh,
yikes. Sometimes a break is good. You lose a bad habit or two. Sometimes you might pick up another, but usually the one thing that suffers the most is your short game when you don't get to play or practice much. Usually after a first hole or two, you typically back into your normal how you would normally drive or play the ball from the fairway to the green.
That pitch is going to be inside also.
Runners at first and second. 2 outs here again, top of the 6th inning. Long game. What time is it? 8:15, 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's about right. Two and a half. About a 2.5 hour game is what you get. 7 innings usually, but we're a little behind schedule. It was just a long 2 and 3. Second and third inning were really long. They combined for about an hour and 15.
Yeah, you've had your fair share of fireworks, I would say, in this game. A lot of action.
Yeah, I just overheard Caleb say it's one of the better games he says we've played. This is the second game I've seen in person, just due to some scheduling stuff. But we struggled a bit the first 2 innings, but since the second inning, I've been real pleased at how our boys have picked it up defensively, putting the bat on the ball, playing aggressive. It's trouble. We were double play depth in the infield, and that's going to got to find the ball. 2 more runs are going to score. Again, a little bit of a mix-up there with the pitcher. He probably should have immediately went behind the catcher to back him up on that particular play because he was just too close for the cut, period, and had a chance at getting that first runner. I'm not sure if he was distracted, a catcher maybe initially by the pitcher being where he was, but nonetheless, 2 more runs are on the board, and the Raiders are going to have to score a couple to survive to the 7th inning here in the bottom of the 6th.
Got a strike there by Jackson. It's going to bring the count to. Got it as 1-2 on the scoreboard. Ball in the dirt there that the runner's going to advance to third on. That is a high pop up there.
Couldn't ever find it. By the time he got his helmet off, and the umpire, I will say this, was a slight distraction to begin with, and he just could not find it.
Yeah, Brandon's also not an ELA teacher.
This guy's got jokes. Told you he was funny, Caleb. Because he ain't tripping on you, that's why.
That is going to be a foul ball over towards the third base dugout. 2-2 count here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th with Jeff Davis leading 14-5. They currently have their leadoff man, Trenton Clance, up to bat. That is a shot there down the left field line. Ground ball to short there. Garrett's going to get a chance to make that play. And we will get an out at first base there to end the inning. So your Red Raiders are going to head to the bottom of the 6th, down 14-5. Going to need to get some runs on the board here to mount this comeback.
We're going to take one more break here, or at least one more break, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
Back here in the bottom of the 6th with Jackson Connor, your leadoff man, leading off. Going to try to spark a rally here for the Raiders.
So the leadoff man is leading off?
Yep. First pitch is going to be low and outside.
Vidalia has got a pretty good baseball team this year, don't they?
You know, I haven't heard much about them. I know they still have the pitcher that is a Notre Dame commit.
Throws it in the mid-90s?
He was sitting at 90 last year.
Okay, low 90s.
That ball is lifted high into the air on the infield. Shortstop's going to make the play. It's going to be your first out in the bottom of the 6th with Garrett All coming to the plate.
Garrett was hit in the head his last at bat, literally. Good pitch there. Was that a changeup or a curve? Because if it curved, it was like 12 to 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see them too often.
Well, he is a lefty, so maybe he's modeled his game after Clayton Kershaw.
Well, and you don't see too many lefties throw over the top either. They're more of a three-quarter. But he's got a good release, good mechanics. It's going to be out number 2 for the Raiders. Down to their, I believe, if we got our run rule correct, this will be down to our last out. We've got to score a couple runs here to extend this game. The Raiders that were defeated last night by Jeff Davis 11-1, and again, like tonight, this game, the score is not really indicative of how the Raiders played the latter part of this game. Just like last night's game, I think it was 4-1, 5-1, about the 5th or 6th inning, and Jeff Davis piled on a few runs there at the end. But anyway, barring a miracle here, we're going to fall 0-2 in this series. We'll go back Friday. This game was, again, scheduled to be played tomorrow, but due to the weather that's potentially coming in, or not potentially, it's coming, we'll play Friday night back over in Jeff Davis.
We're just going to take that for a ball to bring the count to 2-1.
Just a bit outside. In the words of Bob Euchre.
Off of the movie Major League.
Just a bit outside.
Wild thing.
That's one of the staples. We was talking about movies you watch at least, once or twice a year. We was talking about Smokey and the Bandit earlier, and when the song came on over the speaker system here, and Major League's one of those movies you'll watch once a year.
Got a full count here on Brady.
You ever watch Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck?
I don't believe I have.
That's a good movie too.
Oh,
There's that outside corner, and that's going to end this ball game, I think. What we doing here, Sky?
looks like we're running back out for the start of the 7th inning.
What's the lead? It's not 8 after 5, 8 after 6.
Yeah.
Goes away after. Why didn't you tell me that a while ago after I kept talking smack?
We've got.
We're down 9. You must be on to something there, big guy. So we're going to take it to the top of the 7th inning. Top of the 7th. We're going to get one more inning in. And we're going to take a break. Be back in just a moment. All right, we're going to get some more baseball. I won't say free because this is the 7th inning, top of the 7th. I apologize for our ignorance, I guess. Our scorekeep up here admits that he's, doesn't know a whole bunch about baseball, but guess what? He knows about how many innings we're going to play, and looks like we're getting in full 7. We kind of thought it was that 8 after so many, but that's not the case. We're going to keep playing here through the bottom of the 7th. So Raiders just want to try to contain them one more inning. That ball's going to be hit sharply to all. Fires over to first. Just the stretch by Arnie for the first out of this inning. And I'll turn it over to Sky for the play-by-play.
Yeah, we've got Jackson still on the mound for our Red Raiders with number 5, Carter Mullis, coming up for your Yellow Jackets. Good play there at short by Garrett, who's only a sophomore and still battling his way back from an ankle injury. That ball is going to be lifted high in there to right field.
Long run.
It's going to drop in. Got to throw to second here, and he's going to be safe at second.
That was probably the second baseman's ball. If he was there. It was, again, miscommunication between him. I think the right fielder and the wind is blowing in to the infield. I think he not misjudged it, but just, maybe sort of misjudged it. But because of the wind, thought he could get to it. But I think the second baseman was there in time, but he was caught off there that last moment. Nonetheless, stand up.
Nonetheless, you have Ethan Griffin cleanup coming to the plate for Jeff Davis here.
Top of the 7th, 1 out. 14-5, Raiders trail. This is only the second week of region play. Everybody plays each other best of three. Three game. I won't say best of 3, but a 3-game series each week. 2 home, 2 away, 2 home, 1 away, or 1 home, 2 away. In this case, this will be our only home game versus Jeff Davis. Next week, we'll be playing Toombs during spring break, and I'm not sure what the rotation is there. Scotty, you know?
I believe that we played 2 down there in Toombs last year. I think there was a doubleheader, so there should be 2 home games here next week.
Those games, although it's spring break, those games will be broadcasted on our AI system, so just without commentary. And I'm excited if you're just joining us or didn't hear earlier me talking about it. I finally got the camera configured like it should be to where it's going to be a really good picture for you to enjoy Red Raider baseball for the remaining of the season of the games that we do not or are not able to video and commentate. And you'll know the difference when you watch the AI broadcast. You'll see advertisements on the lower left and lower right of the screen, and no voiceover. We can voice over the AI camera, but I typically use my own camera when we come in, like I'm doing tonight, when we broadcast like we're doing. Again, I keep thinking tomorrow's Friday because we normally play on a Thursday.
Yep. That was fouled off at the plate. That's going to skip up in the dirt there for ball 4. The runner is also going to advance from second to third on the play. Got one out. Runners on first and second here.
First and third.
Oh, yes. First and third.
Did you hear that mistake he just made? And I caught him on it?
You know, I had to do my best impression of Brent there and stumble over myself a few times.
You forgot to miss the run.
I forgot to mispronounce a few words and not be able to do math for a second and all of those things. So I didn't quite do a great Brent impression, but I'm working on it. There's a pop-up to second base that Jordan will handle for the second out of the inning. I almost said first because our scoreboard keeper was a few seconds behind there, but it's all right. He's learning. The umpire didn't have to shout at him that time, so good job. There's going to be a ball outside there. It's going to be a strike. 1-1 count here with 2 outs. Ball's fouled off at the plate there by number 7.
It's a good pitch.
Duke Stone.
Was it Laura Walker? Showing a picture of an alligator. We were playing golf Monday over at Laura Walker. His ball is
It's lifted into the air to left field there. I believe Kale is underneath that, and he'll make the play to end the inning to send us to the bottom of the 7th with your Red Raiders needing 9 to keep playing and 10 to come back and win this thing in the last inning here.
We're going to take one more quick break and we'll be back in just a moment.
We're back here in the bottom of the 7th. With Knox Ledbetter up the bat. He's going to foul the first pitch off there. Got a 2-1 count here. It's going to be strike 2 on Knox. He didn't quite get that one. That's going to be the first out of the bottom of the 7th.
Ball is hammered. Whoa, there's a good play there by the shortstop. Ball was stung by Chance.
Cole.
Oh, sorry, Cole. Is this Chance coming up?
Yes. Yeah, nice little play there by the shortstop on that line drive in the 5-6 hole.
2 outs. Playing home soccer Friday night. It'll be broadcasted live, but if you haven't come out and watched our girls and boys varsity soccer, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun to watch. Very competitive. The girls have won 7 games this season, and after they won 2 games this season, that was that match. That's the most they'd ever won in any one season, and they've only had about 4 or 5, if I'm correct, in the last last 6 years that we've been playing soccer. Haven't won. We won more games this season than we have in the last since we started. In other words, just got a lot of athletes that's able to run around and chase that ball, kick it through the net, and then baseball will be in Jeff Davis. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th.
It is 2-2, actually.
Is it?
That's going to be strike 3, and ultimately your ball game is your Red Raiders will fall 14-5 to the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets tonight in Game 2 of this region series.
Well, I appreciate you joining us tonight on this live broadcast on the NFHS Network, powered by Play on Sports, brought to you by BCTV Red Raider Broadcasting. I want to thank Sky for helping me out tonight. I'm sure he'll be with me if he's available, if he can cut away from his schedule.
Busy coaching life.
Yeah, the rest of this spring. I'm sure we'll do several other ball games as the season winds down. We'll see where we stand playoff-wise and go from there. But again, thank you for joining us tonight on this I call it rivalry.
Yep, there he goes again.
Rivalry.
One last mistake
with Jeff Davis. But again, thank you for joining us on the broadcast tonight. Again, I want to remind you we got a couple other things going on this week. Again, baseball travels with Jeff Davis, home soccer Friday night, boys and girls game. I invite you out to those. And then next week, baseball, a couple games at home with Toombs. Always good to see them come. Good to see Coach James. Wish him, again, the best as he was here. And he'll be coming back to face his Red Raiders. But, again, thanks, Guy. Even thank Mr. Caleb Griffin being up here doing what he does for the baseball team and support. So good night, and until next time.